Good morning, this is Send 7, World News in 7 minutes. I'm Stephen Devincenzi. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of April, 2024. Starting in Asia and Oceania today, Israel has said that it will take revenge for a drone and missile attack on Sunday by Iran and Iranian-supported militias in Lebanon, Iraq and Yemen. Iran has said that the attack was concluded, but Foreign Minister Hussein Amir-Abdollahian said yesterday that Iran would respond even more strongly if Israel retaliates. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres yesterday called for maximum restraint.
The Middle East is on the brink. The people of the region are confronting a real danger of a devastating, full-scale conflict. Now is the time to defuse and de-escalate. Now is the time for maximum restraint.
In Gaza, local reports have said that Israeli soldiers killed 5 people who were trying to return to their homes in the north of Gaza. Over the last few days, thousands of people have been trying to cross from southern Gaza to northern Gaza, which has been blockaded by the Israeli army for months. Israel has told people not to make this journey. In Australia, a bishop was stabbed yesterday in an Orthodox church in Sydney. 4 people were injured, but nobody was killed, according to police. The attacker was arrested. This was the second stabbing attack in Sydney in 3 days, and there were some protests close to the church last night. South Korean company Samsung has become the biggest seller of mobile phones in the world, overtaking Apple, according to data from the research firm IDC. Data from the first quarter of this year shows Samsung making over 20% of the world's phones, with Apple making only 17%. Europe. In Georgia, an opposition member of parliament, Aleko Elisashvili, punched the parliamentary leader of the ruling Georgian Dream Party, Mamuka Dinaradze, during a parliamentary debate yesterday. Georgia's parliament is currently debating a bill that would force organisations to register as foreign agents if they receive money from abroad. The proposal has been criticised as being pro-Russia and has sparked large protests. The European Union is also against the bill. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has asked allies for more air defences in a video response to Iran's attack on Israel on Sunday. US, UK and French forces helped to destroy Iranian drones and missiles headed for Israel on Sunday night, and Zelensky said that Ukraine also needs more help to defend from threats from the air. In the northern Sumy region, a man was killed by a Russian drone attack across the international border yesterday. In Kharkiv region, an elderly couple were killed by a Russian strike, and in the eastern Donetsk region, 4 civilians were killed by Russian rockets in the town of Siviersk. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that there are plans to move the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Paris if there is a serious risk of a terrorist attack. Daesh, the Islamic State group, recently said that they would attack Champions League football matches in Europe. Africa. In Sudan, it has now been 1 year since a civil war started between the army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Around 15,000 people are believed to have died. Around 2 million people have left Sudan, and around 6 million are believed to be internally displaced. There have been negotiations between the two sides, however they haven't produced any long results, and they continue to fight in many parts of the country. The RSF today controls most of the southeast of Sudan, with the Sudanese army controlling most of the north and east, with both sides controlling different parts of the capital Khartoum. In Niger, state television has shown footage of Russian military trainers arriving in Niger with military supplies. The broadcast showed the Russians speaking French to journalists and saying that they would increase cooperation between Russia and Niger. Since the democratically elected government of Niger was removed in a military coup last year, the new military government has broken its relations with France, other Western countries, and the African Union in favour of relations with Russia and other African countries that are led by military juntas. Americas. In the United States, former President Donald Trump started a trial yesterday facing charges related to paying a pornographic actress to remain silent about having a sexual encounter with him in 2006, a year after he married Melania Trump. The possible crime is that Trump made payments to her by falsifying business records. In 2018, Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, admitted making payments to the porn star Stormy Daniels and pleaded guilty to election campaign violations by paying her. This is the first time in the history of the United States that a former president has faced a criminal charge, and Trump could go to jail, although analysts say that it is more likely he will receive other punishments such as fines or community service. Speaking outside the court yesterday, Trump said that the case was political persecution and said that President Joe Biden was pushing the case.
This is an assault on our country, and it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent, that's all it is.
And in Colombia, couples have been told to shower together to save water. Colombia's capital city, Bogotá, is experiencing very low water reserves. Mayor of Bogotá, Carlos Fernando Galán, has told people not to wash if they aren't leaving the house, and said to shower as a couple. Listeners, recently I was a guest speaker on the English Like a Native podcast. With teacher Anna, we spoke about how to learn English with the news and other topics. You can find that by searching in your podcast app for the podcast English Like a Native, or by looking in the episode description of this episode. A big thank you to Mikel in Spain and Meining in Taiwan for becoming our newest supporters. If you enjoy this podcast and would like to have access to the transcripts of every episode and our weekly news quiz, then you can become a supporter at send7.org. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.